Emotional, so you can come over and sit with me. Okay, I've got 7 things that I think that I've learned in 75 years. I thought about doing some research, and I thought, nah, whatever comes into my head, I'm going to go with. And a couple of them are probably familiar to you, and the others are things that I think that are really important in life, and hopefully you'll take a look at those and say, yeah, kind of like that. I think I'm going to use that. Okay. So this is 75 years old. I was talking to a classmate the other day, and I said, happy birthday, young man, which I typically do on Facebook. I get all kinds of responses out of that, by the way, and Van used to do it, and I think he's kind of backed off now because I'm doing it.
Do it every day.
He said, Dale, we're not 75, we're 3/4 of a century old. And I thought, oh, crap, that is really old. I read something the other day I thought was kind of cool, and it said, if I knew I was going to live this long, I'd have taken a lot better care of myself. Thought that was cute. Andy Rooney said, it's paradoxical that the idea of living a long life appeals to about everybody, but the idea of getting old doesn't appeal to anybody. So that's kind of interesting. George Burns says, you know you're getting old when you reach over to tie your shoes and you look around and see everything else you can do while you're down there. I haven't gotten to that point yet, but I'm working on it. Okay, my 7 things I wrote down. I'm going to start with number 7, and then we're going to jump to 1 and go 1 through 6. Number 7, take a look at the last one on your card. It is be a good listener. And Sarah and Stephanie appreciate this because they've gone through counseling. And one of the best qualities you can have as a counselor is to be a really good and empathetic listener. I'm not very good at this. I'm getting better, and I'm working at it. But if you're at my house and you want to have a conversation with me, if I don't turn the TV off, and I got a bunch of guys that are like this, I'm in trouble. Because I'll sit there and listen to you for a minute, and then I'll glance at the TV, especially for the sporting event on. Then I'll do it again, and all of a sudden I say, did you hear me? And I'll say, oh yeah, I did. And I'm really not a very good listener, but I'm a much better listener than I used to be. One of the best things you can do is to give someone else that wants to talk to you their undivided attention. So with that being said, I want to do a little exercise. I'm going to whisper something to Nash. I'm going to let you stay out. I'm going to whisper something to Nash. He's going to tell Tally. No, Tally, you come over here. I want you to be last. He's going to share with Sarah. Sarah's going to share with Van. Van with Rachel. Rachel with Sarah. Sarah with Trevor. Trevor with Stephanie. Stephanie with Brandon. And Brandon's going to come up here and tell Tally, and we'll see how it turns out based on how it goes all the way around. And the idea is listening requires a lot of effort and energy, and it's tough. Okay, come here.
Yeah, Sarah, don't screw this up. I know what you do.
And then locked in through.
Why can't the camera guy do this?
Hard to say.
I don't know if you can do that.
Take your mouth.
I thought you could. Dog, run, sack. I got that. Yeah, but that long.
Listening skill.
Henry.
Henry. That Aaron is there.
Oh, no. It's usually one break is listening, so they still use the break for listening.
Let's go with. Yeah, good looking. You done this before?
What happened to your shoe?
Man, they're trying to concentrate over here.
You're
All right, we've got to concentrate.
Okay. Did you get it?
It's that volleyball.
Yeah.
Volleyball.
Yeah.
You got that on camera?
Yes.
Oh, shoot.
Reload.
The first
I'll give it to you.
Yeah, that was pretty close.
That's the idea.
It's my dog. Yeah, I know, pretty much. numbers on
I
it or
feel
off?
like my mom must.
And that one off?
I expect she did pretty good.
I'll help you. Now you finish. Good job.
Deb, do you want to do it? Do you want to get there? Brandon? You can do it.
That's great.
Yeah, you can do it.
Hey, Rachel. Literally exactly what I got from. Rachel. Oh my gosh.
I didn't intend for this to be funny.
Hi, buddy. How you doing? How you doing?
I have an agenda. You can't laugh when
First time it's going.
I think it got messed up somewhere over in this.
I think you got messed up somewhere between here and there.
Van started throwing a bunch of numbers out.
Numbers. There weren't any numbers.
There weren't any numbers?
I don't think so. There was like one number.
Okay, we got it all the way around. Now we're going to tell Tally. She's going to tell us what was said.
Tabby's gonna mess it up saying.
She'll be
Yes.
base, something about baseball. You say it, you say it.
The first batter got up and hit a double, the second batter got up and hit a double, and the score was 4. That's what I got.
A baseball player had a one-base hit. He knocked in 2 runners in the bottom of the 5th inning. So by the 9th, he had 3 RBIs. That's what it was.
Didn't get it.
Didn't get that.
There. I think we lost it as soon as you told Matt.
So the idea is,
There's a few numbers in that.
the idea is if you really want to compliment somebody, be a really good listener. And it's extremely hard to do. It's one of the best compliments you can pay somebody. That's what I've learned on number 7. Number 1, take a look at that one. I like this one a lot. I just processed it recently. You know, people talk about being the best you can be. To me, I'm not sure exactly what that means. Always work hard. I'm not sure what that means. I've heard basketball coaches call timeout and said, okay, guys, get out there and really hustle. And it's like, duh, what does that really mean? What this says is that at the end of every day, put your head on your pillow, and the last thing you think about is, am I a better me than I was at the beginning of the day today? Well, that's a tough one. Stay focused on a day at a time, being a better person at the end of the day than you were at the beginning of the day. And you come up with all kinds of excuses to not get something done. But each of us has 24 hours a day, and each of us choose to structure those 24 hours in whatever way we choose to structure them. Now, do you have jobs? Most of you do. Do you have families to take care of? Most of you do. Do you have a spouse to give time to? Most of you do. Those things are necessary, and they have to be done. By the same token, we each have 24 hours a day. For example, if exercise is important to you, you can come up with all kinds of reasons not to exercise. But you can also write it down, set aside 30 minutes, and get out there and get it done. If you remember, we talked about exercise in our book. The toughest part about exercise is what?
Put on your shoes.
Put your shoes on and tying them, and then you stand up and you said, well, crap, I've got them on, I might as well go do it now. So I really like that part of the exercise that Sarah and Kathy and I put together in her book. Number 2, for a long time, I was really reluctant about this one. Did not do it. And I've gotten a lot better at it, and a lot of it has to do with every time I see Trevor and Diane, they give me a big hug. Because it used to be I could hug women, pretty easily, but to hug guys was almost like, you're just not supposed to hug guys, but that's kind of the way I was raised. But to be a hugger, I think we need to be huggers, because one of the next compliments that you can give somebody is to do appropriate touch. Some people will act like they don't want to be touched, but almost everybody enjoys being touched. We'll talk about being a hugger a little bit. Come here, Nash. This is kind of a modified way of hugging, called a hand hug. It's just a handshake. So that's a way of touching in an appropriate way. So you shake hands, you firm up a little bit, and you look people in the eye. Then there's what I call a bro hug. You reach thumbs, and you shake like this. It's kind of a bro hug. No, we're not ready for that. Another hug is where you do a bro shake and a bro hug. Now, the thing about that for guys it does is it keeps something in between you. You know, so that's kind of a cool thing too. And then there's just a regular hug. You just walk up and you give somebody a hug. And that's kind of cool. This one, I don't know if you guys do this or know about this a lot, but this I think is kind of funny. You walk up and be a reluctant hugger, and you come up to them and they'll go,
Yep.
side hug. But then I learned this from Sarah Beth. She said one time, a hug is not a hug. It's not a genuine hug unless it's for a count of 6. Now that's really tough because you hold on to somebody and think, oh my gosh, I hope this gets over. I guess it's church one time and Ted Page came up and hugged Kathy. I finally had to say, Ted, 6 seconds passed about 10 minutes ago. So you go a 6 second count of holding a hug, and then it's for real, and it's a real hug. Thank you.
Oh, that's a real
Okay.
hug.
So the second one is be a hugger. And if somebody's reluctant to be a hugger, give them a side hug. Okay? Okay, when Steffi gets done, we'll start again.
It's gotta be 6.
I'm looking for 8.
Oh my goodness.
I'm looking for it.
Something to test it out.
Steph tells us all.
The third thing I've learned in 75 years of living is I think you need to be very free with saying I love you to people. That one for me was really, really tough. And I've gotten a heck of a lot better at it now. I think one of the last things you need to do when you leave a person is to say I love you. The reason I think that is because that may be the last time you get to say that. We never know how much time we got, and we never know what will happen between the time you leave and something goes out somewhere. There was a call last night that I think there was a wreck out on Thompson Road. Well, I'm sure when the people got killed in that car wreck, they had no idea that was going to be the last day of their life. And I'm not saying that in a morbid way, I'm saying it in a positive way. Tell people you love them and mean it. I think that's an extremely important thing. If you do it eyeball to eyeball, that's great. If you do it in a text, that's fine. Finish with a text that way. Finish with an email that way. Any kind of social media, say that to people, especially family people, and especially people that you really care about. Number 3. Number 4, take a look at it. Now this one I've struggled with a little bit. Years ago, when my first wife passed away from cancer, on her Mother's Day, which is May, help me, 30th, May something, I got her 4 guardian angel necklaces and asked her to give them to the kids. She got them. She gave one to each of the kids, and she wore hers. When she passed away in July 2nd, 1995, I took hers and I still wear hers today. I think a guardian angel does a couple of things. It gives you comfort. It lets other people around you know that something's going on that's important and you want to provide comfort for them. So a guardian angel is something I think is really cool. I wear mine all the time. And some of you guys don't, and that's okay. And if you do, that's okay too. But there will be times that I in particular, and you guys are welcome to do this, text people and say, wear your guardian angel today because something's going on that we all need to be supportive of one another in the family. Everybody has guardian angel necklaces. I plan to get one if I stay around long enough. Teach the kids when they're 11. Nice as it is, all the way necklace is broken. You need to find a chain. And for Christmas time, and I just tell you early, I'm getting guardian angel necklaces for the sons-in-law. I got one for Rachel, and I got one for Sarah, I got one for Rachel, so they have theirs. And that way, all of us will have guardian angel necklaces to be able to wear. You can choose to wear them when you want to, but I think when something happens, like we recently lost Amy, that's a good time for everybody to wear one. Okay? And then each of us knows that we got them on, and each of us knows why we're wearing them. I'm also going to order one for Mike and Sandy, so they're kind of extended members of our family. So guardian angel necklaces, I'm convinced that something tangible needs to be worn by us in difficult times. So that's why I've got that. Okay. Number 5, Jim Wygand. Guess what it is?
Be kind.
Be kind, be kind, be kind. That's his mantra. Be kind, be kind, be kind. The next one is my mantra, and I'll tell you what it is in a minute. I just adopted my own mantra, and I want you guys to use that. But Jim's was be kind, be kind, be kind. You can look for planned opportunities to be kind to someone every day. Or if you will be aware of people around you, there will be opportunities for you to be kind to somebody, because it would just present itself. There are all kinds of ways to be kind to people. You can go through McDonald's, which I do pretty regularly, and take the person behind you, and tell the lady that's taking the money, make sure. Henry's not, you really like my speech, did you? He's not. Tell the person when you go through the line to tell the person who's paying for behind you, pass it forward. Tell them to do something for somebody else down the road. I did that one time at McDonald's over in Hanover. Next time I came back through, it was about a week later, the same lady was there, and she said, oh my gosh, you don't believe what happened. There were 7 people that paid for the people behind us. And the 8th person came up and didn't pay, and I'm thinking, you crappyhead. Another thing you can do is just look at somebody and smile, make eye contact with them. I mean, that's a pretty cool one there, and that's a real simple. Everybody loves a smile. If you make eye contact with somebody, it's kind of a neat thing to do. But there's all kinds of different ways. One of the things I've done lately is as I go in and eat in a restaurant, I'll give a nice tip. You know, let's say the bill's $20, $25, I'll leave a $10 tip. I just think that it's a neat thing to do because waiters and waitresses have really tough jobs. And most of the time, they don't get nice tips, they get crap from people. So I just think that that's a nice thing to do. If I wasn't with Kathy, I'd leave like a $20 tip or a $20 bill. And Kathy said, whoa, whoa, it's too much.
$3.15.
Okay, each of you has a candy kiss, right?
Yeah.
Open it up, put it in your mouth, and here are the instructions. Don't chew it up and swallow it. See how long you can keep it in your mouth and dissolve. Go.
We get another if we mess up.
Now that you got about 6 over here, share with you, make it yes. Don't take it out.
Not even mine.
Two guys with this kind of tongue. I pop a piece of candy and think, that's good. Sooner I eat it, sooner I get it nothing.
What? I'm not. Blame me for a lot of stuff I don't do.
I'm going to write down number 8. Don't fight with your spouse in public.
Do it, Brad. I was so close. I took my teeth, I'm like, no. My tongue just naturally put it over
Where are you guys holding that?
the roof of my mouth.
Me too right now. Hold up right now. I started with it
I know, I couldn't do
but it was suctioning all the
I
extra.
was going to do that. I had to move it from the middle of my mouth over to the side so I could swallow. And then put it back over here again. It's kind of fun. Okay, here's my mantra. Be a sipper, not a guzzler. And it applies to life in a lot of different kinds of ways. Eat candy, just enjoy it. If you have a drink, sip it and enjoy it. I am real bad about drinking Cokes, as most of you know, because I thoroughly enjoy the sweetness in those. And I'm really working at it, but it's hard to take a little sip and put it back down, because I'm thinking, I got about 6 or 8 of those in the refrigerator. If I drink this one quick, I can go get another one. But be a sipper, not a guzzler. And I think that's a great mantra for life. Have patience in your life. And don't expect, like most people do, that you want things to happen just like that, and just like that, and just like that. Be patient. At the risk of sharing some Christianity with you, there's some discussion about if you pray, God has a timeline to answer your prayers, and it's not necessarily your timeline, so you've got to be really patient. And eventually you'll get an answer. And it may not even be the answer you want, but it's important to get that answer. So those are the 7 things that I have learned in 75 years of living. I invite you to explore those, think about them, use them in your life if you choose to. I've given each one of you a card for your kids as they get older. You can pass them on to them. Thanks for coming to my birthday party.